Y is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
All right, so these are his five favorite albums, which by the way, it says in this article, it's Eddie Vedder, of course,
Of course,
author.
right.
And it's from Far Out Magazine, but in the article it talks about in the 80s while working part-time at a petrol station to
Oh,
fund
of
his
course they call it a
uncontrollable
petrol.
thirst for music. He had to begin to move into the industry when he appeared as a guest contributor to Temple of the Dog. We know all this, but these are the albums he picked. Some of them, or do you want to guess them?
All right. Well, you said
I think there's
Tommy.
actually 10. There's
10,
10.
okay. Well, you mentioned Tommy, so we know that's gonna be on there.
Yes.
It's got to be something from the Beatles. Probably the White Album.
The
There we
Beatles.
go. All right.
Hmm?
Sorry, the Beatles. You're correct. Use the right name.
Right.
Uh, it's got to be something by The Clash. The knee-jerk
Mhm.
guess would be London Calling. But
There's
but wait. I'm gonna
okay.
say Sandinista.
There's no clash.
Okay. Ooh. Um.
Two of the bands we have had, one of the bands we've had a founding member on. Another
Ooh.
band we've had a later member on.
Oh, that does not narrow it down.
Oh, there's actually other ones that we've had people related to. So, but two,
Sex Pistols?
no,
I guess that didn't strike me as a never mind the bollocks. Maybe something from the Buzzcocks?
no.
No.
I know these really threw me. Now, in, a number of these are include his friends. And
Okay, so then there's got to be a Finn album on there.
there's not.
Okay,
There's
I give
no,
up. This is not a real list. I do not
no,
believe this.
but you know what? Okay, if you were asked to do your top in defense of my dear
Right, close
person,
personal friend. Yeah.
um, I could not name my top 10 albums and have them be the same repeatedly
I
in
was
my
actually thinking about this the other day and trying to figure out what it would be because there's that whole thing of like records you actually listen to and love. And then there's the thing where you're like, I should probably say an album by this person so people think I'm
well, I wouldn't
like,
do that because I would just pick them unapologetically. But there's this record I listen to and love, but there's this other record that I don't listen to all the time, but it changed my life when I heard it.
exactly.
Or this moment in time was like okay, like Hunting High and Low by Aha. When I bought that album and discovered that band, it just because of how old I was, because of everything,
Right.
I just was my whole world. It was everything to me.
Hmm.
At this stage of my life, is it in my top 10? But if someone says like, "Oh, how do you feel about Aha?" I'm like, they're my favorite. I mean,
Right.
we kind of know who my favorites are. But then some of the people we discovered later that we love, right? Like the
Hmm.
Sparks Brothers, all that. The males. I would put some of their stuff up there, but really should I? Because they've been around forever, but they haven't been in my life forever.
Right.
Should I
Like,
put Thriller on there? I wore it out 4 times.
yeah, I mean, Third Eye
Third Eye.
without that's on there. And I feel like for
Like every greatest hits. Do I put like Crowded House's greatest hits? And then do I put like monster ballads because it covers off all of my uh
what about your copy of Freedom Rock? Does that come up
I
there?
mean if I still had a copy of Freedom, that'd be great. If when we are famous and they ask us what our favorites are, let's only pick
The
like I'm gonna
KTEL
pick
record
yeah,
collection. Yeah.
KTEL, Time Life, or the ones that they made in Target in the early 2000s that were actually awesome. They were only on CD, but they were really good little mixes.
Yeah. I see.
Um,
Because I feel like, ooh, okay, now Eddie would definitely have the Stones on there.
he doesn't.
See, I was going to say, because my thing is for years and years and years, I would always say Exile is like one of my top 10 records.
Of course.
And more recently, I wonder if that's the one I would choose.
I don't know.
I feel like I might go Let It Bleed or maybe even Beggar's Banquet.
This is the thing. And like sometimes my favorite albums are not my favorite artists. I don't know which
Mm.
two album I'd pick. I don't know which Bowie album I'd pick. I don't know which Beatles or Stones album I'd pick, but line them up. Those are
Right,
my guys, right?
right.
Prince, I think I'd pick Purple Rain, but just because, but I'd pick that because of my niece and nephew loving it when they were born. I mean,
Well, that's going to give you a yeah. It's a
it's that
personal relationship with
outro.
that record.
No one talks enough about, everyone talks enough about the song Purple Rain and plays it enough and covers it enough, but no one talks enough about the guitar solo outro of that song and how no matter what radio station you listen to it on, they never edit Purple Rain. It's one of the few songs that is never cut for time.
Whereas I feel like Let's Go Crazy, they cut the solo at the end,
They
which is one
do.
of the best parts of it.
Agreed.
And
But
then the
Purple
like
Rain is just
classic,
hallowed.
yeah, it's
Do
bizarre.
you want me to tell you, Eddie's?
Now, give me a second here.
Okay.
So you said
Like,
founding member that we've had on the show.
yeah. And we really, really believe he's our friend.
Ooh,
Then another founding member is directly connected to a sincerely very dear friend of ours that we work with very closely all the time and recorded with them. And they have
I
a really kick-ass bass player who's also
oh,
gorgeous.
got to be Talking Heads.
Yes. Yes,
Which record though?
I guess.
Oh, I'm gonna have to say 77 or Fear of Music.
More songs about buildings and food.
Oh, okay.
So, the name is not-
I was not thinking about that.
so
Um,
you've got
just tell me. I
okay. The Ramones,
oh,
Ruin,
which one?
Road to Ruin,
Okay.
Sonic Youth, Daydream Nation.
Oh, another woman bassist who's amazing.
Yes. Screaming Life, Bop, Soundgarden,
Okay, makes sense.
Mudhoney,
Ah, interesting. Superfuzz Big Muff or
Mudhoney,
oh, the self-titled one. Okay, interesting.
Nighthawks at the Diner.
Oh,
This is Why, with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling.
can you describe the first time you saw Gremlins? Was it in the theater?
Yeah, the first time I saw Gremlins, I think I was probably like three or so. Back when they were marketing to kids, and it was kind of a strange marketing campaign, I guess, for the movie. But I definitely saw it in a drive-through or a drive-in,
I did too.
and yeah, I distinctly remember seeing like I don't know, I was in the back seat of the car and kind of like hiding behind the seats and stuff. So yeah, I remember seeing it, and I definitely saw it with my dad when it got a home release. So it's kind of one of those early childhood memories.
And then so if you said six or so when you saw the first one.
I would have been
Three.
maybe three or so.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
three. So then you were only what, 9 or 10 when New Batch came out, correct?
Yeah,
If
it
my
would have hit
math
me like
is
right as the probably early teens or right before there. And so it was those pivotal moments in your life.
yeah. So you see the movie. Did you see the second one in the theater? Were you primed for part two?
I was primed for it. Yeah, I was very into the Nintendo game at the time. And
Sure.
I thought the cover of the
Wonderful.
Nintendo game was like the coolest picture like ever made. So
So a lot of people did that. Went and saw the movie, enjoyed it immensely, played the Nintendo game, blew on the cartridge to get the dust out. How does one go from that to what you have acquired and put together?
Amazing.
I there was a distinct moment I think around when New Batch came out where I was just like really I was off on like a bike ride or something, and I was like, how does somebody get one of these gremlins? Like clearly there must be a way. And I guess it was just something that stuck with me like that moment. And I was like, well, if I ever get some play money or something, that's something I want to pursue.
I
And
mean,
so it just sort of like just started happening. Right as I was kind of selling my business that I had a little while back. And so a puppet from the first movie just essentially fell in my lap and just kind of like got things really rolling like full steam, like, to an excessive level, as you can see behind me.
Right.
No, it's amazing. It's not excessive. It's amazing because a lot of us had that. Like, I dreamt of having a Mogwai. I was convinced when I had pocket money I'd get a Mogwai. I never got a Mogwai who became a gremlin or otherwise. And you've got all of them.
It's getting up there. It's I don't know. It's a little excessive. I have to be a little selective at this point because I'm running out of room. Having to buy things that can go on the walls now, and counter space is a little bit limited.
Nice problems to have. When did you sort of like realize, oh my God, I've become one of the big Gremlins collectors? I'm assuming there are others like you who just haven't had haven't assembled the collection you have.
There's a few others. Peter Jackson, the director, is kind of my big nemesis.
Is he always outbidding you on like eBay and stuff?
It was a few years ago. I flew down to LA to like go bid on some key pieces, and he just came in, and it's tough to compete against a billionaire.
Right.
But
damn you,
most
Jackson.
of most of like the big collectors, I think, are more selective on like merch and stuff like that. There aren't too many people that are like very big on props, so that kind of limits my competition, thankfully. And but yeah, I don't know. I just kind of there was, I don't know, like yesterday I just had an hour-long phone call with Zach Galligan, and it was like just one of those like weird moments where you're just like, okay. And being able to talk to Joe Dante or Chris Whale is like kind of key members of the films, and it's very odd.
And how did you get in touch with these people? At what point do you go, Joe Dante needs to know about this, or Joe Dante's probably heard about this?
I think things kind of trickled their way over to him. Like, I kind of write these really in-depth articles about just random things in the movies. And so, it just kind of started off with me reaching out to Joe and, hey, was Barney the dog secretly in Gremlins 2? And Joe like loves nerdy questions like that. Like, I think he lives for stuff like that. So, so, it just sort of like started a relationship, and I kind of showed him that I could, be a really good archivist, I guess, with a lot of his old material. And so kind of built up that trust over time.
Has he seen the collection in person?
Not yet. I mean, Joe's kind of up there in age, so like I'm trying not to bug him too much. I'm up in Seattle, so I'm not really close to where he is. But, people come over all the time for tours, and it's fun being able to share this stuff. It wouldn't be as nearly as entertaining like to just hoard it away. So, when there's people that are excited to see this as much as I would be, you really got to share it.
Well, and your articles are great. I mean, I went on a deep dive on your site, and I mean, anyone, like even just, I mean, it's obviously one of the most, but even just the microwave description and the other script and all of that, and like, it's just fantastic. Like, whether you're a super fan or just saw it a couple times in the theater or once even, it's just amazing. And they're so well written too.
It lets people kind of go as deep as they want to go.
Totally.
It's like if you want to learn about specific puppets, if you want to learn about like the microwave scene, like what went into that, like there's something kind of for everybody. And so I hope it's enjoyable for, those super Gremlin fans.
It's great.
And then, when you bring people in, when you kind of give them these tours, everyone's has their own little thing that means so much to them, like Heidi was saying, like it's the Corvette, or it's the something to do with the microwave sequence. Is there one thing that more often than not people just stare at in awe, and they're just like, I can't believe this is here, that I'm in the same presence as this thing that meant so much to me growing up?
There's one guy in particular that came here, and I think he had kind of a tough childhood, and so Gizmo was kind of like his pal, I guess you could say, like growing up, like his safety or security kind of creature. When you have like all the merch and stuffed animals, like then Gizmo is sort of your safety net there. And so being able to see Gizmo for him in person, I think was like pretty meaningful. So it's usually like the Gizmo or Greta. Because we have the main Greta puppet here, and I think for whatever reason, Greta is just like a big hit for most people.
Oh, Greta's amazing.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I like her a lot.
She is. She's great.
Now you've got, I mean, not only do you have the puppets and the figures, you also have the archival material behind that, different drafts. You have Dick Miller's copy of the script. I
Mhm.
mean, was that stuff? Is that? Are you at a point as in your collecting and your relationship with some of these people that they're giving it to you and gifting it to you because they know it will be treated with the reverence that they themselves treat it with, or is this something still that you are going out and tracking down these things?
I'm kind of in a nice position now where I wouldn't say people are necessarily giving me things, but they're giving me like family friendly deals, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
because they recognize a lot of the stuff just holds significant value. And so, a lot of them is kind of part of the retirement plan.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sure.
but I'm definitely getting some like friendly deals to get stuff. Like I just got a new first movie puppet, and I feel like the price I got on it was extremely fair. So, whereas sometimes if they go to auction, it can go, just crazy money. And so I don't know.
Right.
Like I have to be somewhat sane about what I'm buying. I've got a wife, and you know,
What does she make of all of this?
everybody's kind of on board. I've got two kids and a wife, and it's sort of like, hey, everybody's on board. Like, this is part of our family identity at this point, I guess.
Yeah, that's
It's a little
awesome.
weird, but they're far more boring things you could spend your money on, I think. And
Oh,
Totally.
please. I
so
mean,
it
you're
makes
not in
everybody
the
pretty
Civil
happy.
War. I mean, it's
Right.
comparatively.
Yeah.
So how old were your kiddos when you let them watch it?
My oldest is 14 now, and he's seen it. I mean, since he was like a little guy.
Yeah.
And the same with my 5-year-old. Yeah, I think Gremlins 2 is a good gateway because it's not really quite as
Yeah.
scary.
Mm.
True.
So he really likes that. And I try to be like, we're watching it and he thinks, Daffy is hilarious. I'm like, look,
Right.
Daffy's right there watching it with us in the room
Oh
right
my
now. And
God.
like, I don't think his brain
Amazing.
like quite comprehends it. It's like, sure, Dad.
Right.
But I mean, sure enough, like, the close-up puppet for the Daffy Mogwai. I mean, he's in my movie room. He's
I
sitting
love
right
it.
there. So
That's amazing. Yeah, that was like the big dilemma in our family with my nieces and nephews because when could they watch it? And being the aunt, I let them watch it young and they were fine. They loved it.
we're trying to schedule a uh, like kind of a premiere of the Gremlins rough cut that I've been working on,
Yeah.
and so it's like the big dilemma of like, okay, he's got to like come to this, like, is he going to be able to handle watching this,
Right.
So
Well, and that's a
yeah.
perfect segue to you getting this. So, how did it come to Joe Dante sending you this VHS tape? Did he even know what was on it?
Um, he didn't. It was a funny story because I was talking with Chris Walas, the kind of creature creator for the first movie, and he was telling me on how they shot probably like 20 minutes. There was like probably a 20-minute string out of all the Dory's Tavern scenes. So they shot a ton of stuff for like the bar and whatnot. And so after that finished, I went over to Joe and I said, "Hey Joe, like, is there any way like this still exists? Like, I'd love to see it." And he's like, let me look around. I'll let you know. And I kind of figured he was sort of just like, whatever, like, give me an answer that, just go away. And,
Yeah.
but sure enough, like a day or so passed and he reached out and he's like, hey, so I found these couple VHS tapes. I don't have a player here. Do you want to check it out? I said, of course. And so he just overnighted it to me, up to Seattle, and it kind of just snowballed from there.
And so, what was your reaction when you put this in and go, and I'm assuming slowly realize what you are looking at?
So I sent it off to be digitized because
Good call.
I didn't want to be like the reason why nobody could ever see this ever again. It's
Right.
like
Yep.
when you're running tape through a deck, you just like never really know. And
Right.
Mm-hmm.
so I it got digitized. I brought the files back, and I organized kind of like a little chat group of like kind of the biggest Gremlin fans that I know. And I said, like, let's all experience this together, you know? And sure enough, like it was just crazy. Like people just the brains were kind of exploding. Like all of us kind of had a similar reaction. And one guy even like took the rest of the day off. He's like, I don't know, it's just like this is just too much to like take in. Because there's just so much new material. It was like even scenes that were common scenes that we all know were like, okay, this is a different take. So it's crazy, crazy stuff.
And then you did a screening of it in LA, and obviously a rough cut, or maybe not obviously, is sometimes missing sound effects, is missing, obviously a score. And you did some work to kind of clean that up a little bit and to make it something that maybe a non-experienced film goer can get involved in and get taken, come into the film and not be constantly going, well, there's a boom and there's this thing. And how did you do that? I know you did a lot of it yourself, right?
Yeah. So when I got the tapes and started going through it, I quickly realized that like someone sitting through a 3-hour film of just straight dialogue is just not really in the cards. Like only the biggest super fans would really be okay with that. And so I was able to combine footage from both the tapes and essentially put the score back in. Although honestly, the score was timed so perfectly for the theatrical, I had to like extend a lot of the songs and stuff. I was able to isolate all the creature sounds from the theatrical so I could kind of put those in, because what I found was like there would be these like big pivotal scenes where like, Stripe is dying and the temp creature sound it sounds like some lady is like moaning, and it just like pulls you right out of it. It's like a laughable moment, right?
Right.
So it started being like, okay, I'm gonna do this as my fun little editing project. I was an avid editor in my past life, and so I'm pretty fluent with kind of editing and whatnot. And so I decided I was going to make my own cut of this movie, and it runs about 2 hours, 52 minutes, and it's just pure madness.
I bet.
How much of it is new footage or angles and takes that folks haven't seen?
I'd say the vast majority of it is.
Wow.
There's even like I said, there'd be alternate takes in the movie. Sometimes like there's like 5 more seconds on either end that just it's kind of like when you're listening to your favorite song and it fades out at the end. You kind of like boost the volume. You're like, oh, those last few seconds are so precious, and that's kind of what this movie is all about, is just let's here's just extra stuff. And if you know this movie, you're going to see like you're going to recognize something's not right. Awesome. So it's very cool.
Very, very cool.
And what have the folks, your Joe Dantes, has Chris Columbus seen it?
Not yet. Chris is, I think he's on full steam for Gremlins 3. And so I was able to screen it for the writers that are working with Chris Columbus for Gremlins 3. So it was really cool kind of having them there. But Chris, I think he'll see it down the road. Right now, he's probably doesn't want too many distractions.
Fair.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I feel like if this tape could have fallen into anybody's hands, if anyone who would understand what they have, what to do with it, has the skills to do with it, like you are the perfect person, to have this, and someone who appreciates it and shows it the love that it requires. And then on top of everything, as a collector, wants to share this with people and wants folks to see it. It's not something that I'm going to take this and keep it to myself and just talk about it a lot. That's amazing. And what does the studio make of this? Because obviously you don't own the rights to any of this.
We're trying to work that out. We're trying to work that out right now. I've been talking with BFI over in London for, I don't know, months now. And hopefully they're going to be doing the premiere at some point, like the big fan premiere, which is what all this is about. And but we're still kind of running into the rigmarole of just like, all right, somebody has to say, go for it, you know? And it's really unprecedented territory because you could make the argument it's like a fan film in some ways.
Right.
Sure.
And so there isn't like really like procedure for dealing with something like this when it pops up because it's just so rare. And so we're trying to find the right person that can say, go for it, screen this thing. And it's really the perfect kind of, it's the perfect segue into Gremlins 3, if you think about it, because Warner's has essentially ignored Gremlins for, decades now.
Right.
And what better way to get people excited about Gremlins 3 than like, hey, here's this crazy version of the first Gremlins, and it gets it back in people's heads, and then hey, Gremlins 3 appears next year and does well. So
how does Peter Jackson feel that Joe didn't give it to him?
I think he's doing just fine. He has his own business just for dealing with his personal affairs,
Yeah,
So,
well, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think Joe knew that I was the right guy for it. I'd worked on a few projects with him before this. Like, I picked up his whole collection of Gremlin slides, which have a bunch of the scenes that are in this cut. And so I did like a really good job kind of scanning those in. I picked up he had Polaroids that Chris Wallace was sending to him like on set.
I love
and
those.
It's very cool.
It's
yeah.
so cool.
Just so you can see the hole punch mark where it would be put on a ring and have that on. And I love that you kept all of that stuff in. It's not just the picture; it is the actual item, so you get the full.
It's part of it.
What you're looking at.
Yeah, it's so many cool little things. Even like with the gremlin that was messing with the traffic lights, he was inside like a little like a metal booth or something. There was a picture of them. Okay, we made this little booth thing for the gremlin to sit in. It's just so many like just crazy details, like constructing the Corvettes. Like it's really incredible stuff. So I think he trusted. He saw what I could do, and he trusted that. Okay, this is going to the right person.
That's awesome.
Is there still times when you get surprised by something that shows up? Of here's a different angle, or here's just an item that shows up. Are you ever like, oh my god, I can't believe this exists, and I have the chance to add it to the collection, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, there's always new things that are hiding out there. A lot of the first movie puppets are insanely rare because they just didn't survive, and they're still kind of out there. It seems like there's some kind of like hiding in people's attics, and so when it kind of trickles down to me as like a good home for something like that, it's always really exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And please tell me you're writing a book about all of this.
Not quite there. I have an idea for Gremlins 2, like a book project on that. But I feel like my website is kind of like my book. It's sort of like, here it is, everybody, take from it what you want. And you can be a not a huge fan, or you can be a massive fan and get something, out of it.
Is there another film you're planning on going to the mat for?
I hope Gremlins 2 happens. Like I've been bugging Joe, and he's like, I don't know. There's nothing really great in there. It's just, it all ended up in the final. I was like, I don't know. I think there's got to be another like just string out of Gremlins 2 somewhere. So hopefully at some point I'll get to work on that. Joe originally thought this whole idea was kind of stupid, to be completely honest, because it's like as a director, you're like, okay, well, this is all stuff we cut for a reason. Like, why should we show it? And and so it's kind of gone from that, for him being like, I don't know. And then he introduced the screening, which got a ton of attention. And then I just heard from his agent the other day. He's like, so like Joe he's been getting like some inquiries to introduce the rough cut. And like, he wants to, do that. Like, where are you guys at with Warner's? And so we've kind of come like full 180, with him.
check out the Gremlins Museum Collection. Go to the website Gremlins, that's GREMLNS, no I.com.
Nigel, is that you? Are you here, Nigel?